It is draft night, episode 99 of the I Still Believe in Cleveland podcast, and maybe the season finale. We are going to break down live here, well, sort of live, the NBA draft, and it's not exactly how we thought it was going to go. The Cavs have selected Darius Garland at number 5. Drew, we did not see Garland. What do you make of what's going on with this draft so far tonight?
Yeah, we didn't see we figured the Lakers were going to make a trade, and they obviously made a very big one, but I for one did not see the follow-up trade happening where Atlanta jumps ahead of us to get the guy that I wanted, and that's DeAndre Hunter. So I wasn't exactly thrilled with that, but I'm not going to shed a tear. I mean, I think Darius Garland is potentially one of the top. He's not the top, but he's in the conversation for the second best player in the draft. Again, I wouldn't have taken him because I really like Collin Sexton, and I think he's a prospect that I'm really high on, just his future in general. But Darius Garland is a great player, and he plays a premier position. He plays point guard. So I have no issue taking the best player available. I'll never have an issue taking the best player available. And without Hunter there, who I thought was the best player after those top 3, I'm pretty happy with it. He was the guy that I would have taken if DeAndre Hunter wasn't there. I even have my background here in yellow. You probably should not expect to see this very often. Those are our viewers. This is a color I don't exactly love. It reminds me too much of a certain football team to our east. But it's Darius. He's a Vanderbilt guy. So to you, Darius Garland, I will rock the yellow for a very short period of time. So now I'm pretty happy with it. I don't see how those two players play on the court at the same time, though. They're both 6'2". They both play point guard. People say that Sexton can play shooting guard. Okay, who's he going to guard? So I have some issues with the defense as it could potentially be constructed, but I can't fault the pick. I think he was the best player available, and that's who you take when you're picking in the top 5.
Yeah, first, who's the team? So you mean to the west, the Northwest, Michigan?
No,
what
I
are
mean
you talking
the football
about?
team to the east that has the color gold.
Okay,
I
see what you're saying.
East of Cleveland.
East of Cleveland, okay.
Right.
Not of your current location. Okay.
Not my current location.
Thank you.
Oh, it's the Cleveland podcast, man.
What team is playing in the Atlantic Ocean there?
Yes.
I'm bummed that I think Atlanta screws up our draft again. I don't know. Last year
they got us again.
Last year, I thought we were going to get Trae Young. I was really hoping for that. We got Collin Sexton. Collin Sexton's been playing great. He had an awesome end to the season. I'm not really too disappointed looking back at this rookie season. But I don't know. Atlanta sort of screws us up again.
I would trade Darius Garland and Collin Sexton for Trae Young and DeAndre Hunter. So
okay, yeah.
They got us again.
Eric, what do you think about Darius Garland? Is he do you think Collin Sexton's gonna be headed out of town here soon?
Well, I don't think that's going to happen, but I'm going to be optimistic and say the last time we drafted a point guard who played like 5 games in his last season, he led us to a championship.
Worked out pretty well.
Got that going. Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. I was definitely expecting DeAndre Hunter or Jared Culver. Culver was still on the board at that point, but they wanted quote talent over the shooting guard role of Culver. It'll be interesting to see how they work this out in the offense. Like Drew said, 2-6-2 guys. I remember when we had Mo Williams and Delonte West, who were both 6'2" or under, 2 guards. I mean, the only way you can overcompensate for that is to have a LeBron James or a couple Z or some tall guys otherwise to kind of keep your team, a little tall, a little longer, I guess. So it's going to be interesting to see how they kind of construct this team. I have no idea how they're going to do it. I don't think they're going to be one in front of the other. I think they're going to be playing alongside each other. I would be surprised if they traded away Collin Sexton, considering how well he's been playing at the end of the season last year. So, well, they still have pick number 26, and there's free agency. Granted, I don't expect them to be getting high free agents, but maybe they're going to get somebody else who can shift around this offensive lineup, at least the back half of the offense, the guards. So, yeah, I'm very intrigued. Maybe this is a John Beeline move. I'm kind of pulling this out of thin air. I have no clue. Maybe
I have to think Beeline had something to do with it, right?
I mean, he's not the GM, but maybe he knows. He's probably been known more about basketball than Kobe Altman's been alive. So I think, he could put his 2 cents in that could really help the team going forward.
I mean, it's not like a Sashi Brown, Hugh Jackson don't speak to each other, for the month before the draft type of a thing, right? I mean, Beeline obviously signed off on it.
Right.
But Beeline's so new. I don't know how much he could really impact that decision. Coming in so quick to the draft. There's no real connection to Vanderbilt. Even though I think I did hear that Darius Garland was recruited by a lot of the top teams. He was recruited by Duke, but he wanted to stay close to home. That's why
he was the number 1 or 2 point guard prospect as a high school recruit. So he was very highly recruited.
So making a guess, I don't know, maybe Beeline saw him in the high school ranks there, and Michigan might have shown some interest. Maybe Beeline had some eyes on him from afar, even though he didn't really go too far away from home. Maybe there's a chance.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he only played 5 games, so there's not a whole lot of teams coached or played against him. But I have to think that he had some type of interaction with this guy.
What do you guys think about the trade? So Pelicans making that trade to the Hawks. So let me see if I can get this right. So the Pelicans sent the 4th
Pelicans, pick. So the Pelicans, didn't they send Anthony Davis to the Lakers?
Right. But then the Pelicans were the owner of the pick. And so they send 4 to the Hawks.
The Hawks.
Hawks sent 8, 17, and 35 back to the Pelicans. Pelicans sent Solomon Hill, the number 57 pick, and a future 2nd-round pick to Atlanta. And then Atlanta also sent a heavily protected Cleveland 1st-round pick in 2020. The way that things are going for Cleveland, we would probably hold on to that pick.
It's top 10 protected.
Okay, top 10 protected. I think I saw in the ESPN power rankings for next year, Cleveland is in dead last. So not looking too good. I don't know if we're in dead last, but
I don't know.
Forget that.
Maybe.
I think that's a bit extreme.
What do you guys think about that? I would be on the side of Pelicans getting a great haul.
Right. I mean,
they did a great job with that.
You get the top guy in the draft, plus you get 3 other picks. And if they don't want to keep all 3, then I guess you could trade back. I mean, obviously that's kind of more the NFL route than the NBA, is trading back for future for additional picks. But when you have Zion Williamson and you got opportunities for other players, I think that's a good start. And knowing the GM, who he is, he's got a pretty good track record and knows what he's doing. Unfortunately, he's been put in a tough spot where he's going to be building as opposed to kind of just making a move or two to win the championship. So it might be a couple years for him, but I think the Pelicans are going to be set up for success in a few years.
Drew, do you think that the Cavs should have been a little bit more aggressive with trades, or are you like staying at 5? I know there was rumors that they were squashed once Atlanta made that trade. There was a rumor that the Cavs would trade 5 for 8 and 10 with Atlanta. Doesn't exactly get them higher. Do you think the Cavs should have been a little bit more aggressive with making a trade?
I would have loved 5 for 8 and 10 if that was at all on the table. The players drafted there were Jackson Hayes. He goes to New Orleans, so he's the center from Texas. The idea is that he's not going to be Anthony Davis, but he's a big man that I think would be very good. He's very athletic. I might not have gone that route. I might have gone Rui Hachimura, but either way,
Hashimura.
and then at 10, Cam Reddish, who I think would be, I think is a very good player. There's plenty of red flags there, but I'd be happy to have him. I'd be happy to have Cameron Johnson, who's very athletic, small forward from North Carolina. And there was PJ Washington available as well. He's more of a stretch four. So there were some pretty good players that I thought they could have had. I don't know. I don't hate taking Darius Garland. I think he has more upside than any of those players. I hate to give up on Collin Sexton after he was so good his first year, and it certainly looks like that's what, in my opinion, has to happen. I don't see how those two coexist on the same team. They're both point guards. They're both ball dominant. They can both get their own shot. They can both shoot, which is great, but I don't see how those two, neither of which is a combo guard. They are both point guards. They both excel with the ball, and I don't know how there's room for both of them. So,
yeah, Garland, having both players 6'2", it's not like
right.
having Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, where
no, it's not even like
Klay's like 6'6".
Yeah, I think he's 6'6", 6'7", something like that. Like if one of them was 6'4", or 6'5", you could talk yourself into it, but they're not, right? Like, and
well, how tall was Mark Price and Craig Elo?
Price was big.
Elo's taller.
Elo is big. Okay.
Right.
So again,
the only thing I guess you could argue, or whatever you want to say about it, is that if the Cavs saw this coming, maybe they didn't because all the moves ahead of them. You thought they would have been a little more proactive as far as getting rid of Sexton. If that's a role they're going to go, I have no idea. Hopefully they do. So I like to keep both on the team, but if that's the route they're going to take, if they think Garland's our guy, that's great, and I hope he is their guy. But what are they going to do with Sexton? Are they going to trade him mid-season to a contender that needs a backup, or somebody who's injury depleted that kind of needs a guy in a pinch? I have no idea. I would have thought they would have had some type of plan in place. If that's, again, maybe they're trying to keep a hold of them both, but I don't know. I guess I kind of lean more towards Drew now. I'm thinking about it. It's going to be tough to have two guys playing the same spot unless they can kind of work things out and kind of have shared roles, at least initially, to try to drive up somebody's value to trade them mid-season.
Yeah, I mean, I think they can both be on the floor on the offensive end, but one of them is not giving you, the most that he can give you, right? Like, I mean, Collin Sexton can play as a two guard. I have no doubt about that. He can shoot, he can get his own shot. Like, he can play that role, but I'd much rather him have the ball in his hand. That's where he's best. And Darius Garland needs the ball in his hand. That's why you pick him at number 5 overall. So it's going to be interesting. Yeah. All right, a couple of good names on the board here. I would love Bull Taco Bull.
Bull. He's my.
Bull. Give me Bull.
I can't think of a better player who has the same name as his first name as his last name. But Bull. You could go worse than him.
There's a good shooting guard too. Ryan was talking about this guy, Kevin Porter Jr. from USC.
Yeah, I think
shooting
it was
guard.
on Chris Brickley. He's doing the special with ESPN, talking about. I think it was Chris Brickley who he's doing a special. ESPN is like a trainer that's worked with KD, LeBron, Carmelo. I think he was talking really highly about Kevin Porter Jr. But yeah, we're all.
Well, if they take him, I think that goes without saying that one of those two point guards is going to get traded, and it's going to be Collin Sexton.
Yeah,
but,
I don't know if Kevin Porter Jr. is 6'2" as well. So.
Oh,
but I mean, he's a shooting guard.
He is a severely undersized shooting guard, but whatever. Ball.
I wouldn't be upset with a bigger guy at some point, but Maybe Chetty Osman and Tristan Thompson can hold down the fort.
So we're watching this live here. You're going to get our live reaction to the Cavaliers pick with the 26th pick in the draft. A Bowl's available. Kevin Porter Jr. and Drew's pick, Dillon Windler out of Belmont.
Belmont, shooting guard Belmont. You heard it here first.
We actually heard from Dillon Windler's sister, who liked our video from the past podcast, and Drew promising that he was going to get a Dillon Windler Cavs jersey if they pick him with this upcoming pick.
That's some good work by his sister to find that. I am impressed. Hat tip to you, Dillon Windler's sister. Your brother is a folk hero on the I Still Believe in Cleveland podcast. We'll always have a special place in our hearts for him, and I still really hope he's the pick here at 26. Defense be damned! Don't even play it.
I mean, yeah. You look at the Houston Rockets. What's the last time they've guarded a guy? 1995. Let's go.
It's pretty amazing that Bol is still available, though. We thought he was going to be gone with the 10th pick. Still available at 26. I think there must be something medically gone awry with Bol.
When you're 7'2" and 150 pounds, I mean,
yeah, that's a big part of it. I'm hearing that effort isn't something he's exactly known for, which is a big deal.
The thing I heard.
Go ahead, Eric.
The thing I heard about was that the Cavs were kind of take a look at that 7'6" or 7'7" guy from UCF.
Taco Fall.
Yeah. I mean, you could do a lot worse than him. I don't know. Obviously, you're not going to take him in the first round, but that's a big guy off the bench who could put some minutes on and maybe throw a little fear, a little whatever.
It's tough to weigh those options. Taco Bowl. Yeah, it's very difficult to figure out who's going to be
wonderful. Right. That was just wonderful.
But yeah, I don't know. Within today's NBA, there's no one who's the big, tall man. This has never worked. Even in the old NBA,
we need a Hakeem
Olajuwon.
Sean Bradley, Manute Bol.
Teach that.
We need a Hakeem Olajuwon. Yes, a very tall guy who is athletic, who can actually score and play defense.
Oh yeah, you just want to draft Hakeem Olajuwon at 26 overall. Yeah, Saudier's expectations aren't high. No.
Yeah, it's like
Hakeem Olajuwon Jr. I think it's yours on the board.
Kevin Love is too tall for the NBA, even though he did stop Steph Curry on that.
All right.
On that night 3 years ago. And we're all watching this on a little bit different speed here, but the pick is in. Oh, is it Windler? I'm delayed. Who got picked?
No, there's no shot that just happened. There's no way that just happened.
Who did they pick?
There's absolutely.
Oh, they did. Oh my gosh. Dillon Windler has been selected by the Cleveland Cavaliers. Drew is going to be purchasing a Dillon Windler jersey. Let's look at these highlights. Look at that step back from 3. His number is 3.
First.
I better hope that he gets a number 3 jersey.
Press conference tomorrow is be like, I listened to the I Still Believe in Cleveland podcast.
Heard it here first.
You definitely heard it here first. Dillon Windler, he is going to be shooting trays. Forget Trae Young. We've got number 3, Dillon Windler. There's a comparison to Kyle Korver. Incredible.
That's who he is. Well, this is. And now we go to Dillon Windler jerseys. Let's see who has them.
Wow. That was definitely unexpected, but definitely awesome. Oh my God.
I think this was the highlight of our podcast.
Wow.
To act like Nostradamus here and pick Dillon Windler.
Well,
man, that's a Drew bomb.
You heard it here first.
You've heard of Woj bombs. That's
Wow.
a swallow dog bomb.
Lindsay just came down and asked, "What are you yelling about?" But I'll tell you I said I'll tell you
yelling about the greatest moment in podcast history.
I said I'll tell you about later.
All right, guys. I think that's gonna be our last pick of the night. Let's wrap up this draft and have our final thoughts on the draft for tonight. Drew, hit us first. What were your thoughts on the draft, the presentation, everything that you saw? Was anything that stood out? Give us your final promo on tonight's draft.
I mean, my final promo is, what can I say except you're welcome. You're welcome. Well, I mean, what more do you want from me? All I did was call the pick at 26 in the draft. It's I'm from the future. I told you about Baker Mayfield in September, and I'm telling you about Dillon Windler 3 weeks before the NBA draft. There's some things you just know, and that's me. You're welcome, Dillon Windler. I will be the first owner of whatever he gets his number assigned, a Cleveland Cavaliers Dillon Windler jersey. I hope I'm not the only one. You guys, this is really a momentous night. And it all started with a guy we drafted wearing a robe to the NBA draft. So what a night. Let's rejoice. I think we've got our new starting backcourt, and I might be a Collin Sexton fan, but this is Dillon Windler night in Northeast Ohio, and it's time to celebrate.
Eric, what do you think about the draft tonight?
Yeah, I mean, this is absolutely absurd. And Dillon Windler's the guy. Dillon Windler's the guy. Collin Sexton, you might not be long for Cleveland, unfortunately, but it's a Dillon Windler era, and it's the I can't even think the other guy's name already, but the guy from Vanderbilt.
Darius Garland.
Yes. Yes. Don't call me Judy Garland.
It's all right. This is Dillon Windler night.
You know what? It's a crowning of a new era. Hopefully these guys are 2 new starters that can help the team. And Chetty Osman and Tristan Thompson we have in the forecourt. I don't know who else we're going to get. We have Kevin Love still, obviously. I don't know how long that's going to take, but I'm really excited. I'm not going to say anything I want to say, but who knows what's going to happen. Let's just go with it. We can't be much worse than last year. So if we can get 30 wins, great. Let's start with there.
Let's place that bet and win a house on Dillon Windler night.
Yes.
If it's Dillon Windler can get us 42 and get us the 8th seed, let's go. But I'm excited. Can't wait to see what happens in October, September. I don't even know when the season starts anymore. But we'll say October, and let's go Cavs.
I'll leave it at this. I'm not going to top Windler, but ESPN, could you please fix your coverage? I don't want to hear. You even showed shots of fans for teams that receive players that aren't really going to receive those players because they're going to another team through a proposed trade. This does not make sense. Don't tip your picks. You tipped the Darius Garland pick to Cleveland. We knew that he was going to be selected before he was selected because of a Woj bomb. Just make it a little bit more fan friendly. Just give the players the hats. Just make it very clear. If there's a proposed trade that's already out there, just show that team. We don't care about making the connection from point A to B to C. Just show us the new team, please. But yeah, the Cavs did a great job. They stuck with their picks, and they went with Dillon Windler. Let's leave it there. Drew, congratulations. I cannot wait to see that Windler jersey, and we will talk to you very soon. This is the end of Season 3. We will talk to you in Season 4.
What an ending.
Of the I Still Believe in Cleveland podcast. We're going to get Eric a new camera by Season 4. I guarantee it.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have 2 things. Maybe not a Windler jersey for the start, but we will have a new camera. Thank you, guys.
As soon as he gets his number, man.
We'll talk to you guys soon.